authenticity is everything. And if we can't prove it and show it, then our products are just a shirt from JD Sports with a bit of pen on it.
Dan Jamieson, CEO and co-owner of Icons, the world's biggest signed football memorabilia company, holding licenses with FIFA, UEFA Champions League, FC Barcelona, Manchester United, and Leo Messi himself.
What's your view about how social media is impacting the growth of collectibles?
We use our social media to help tell stories, prove and defend and show all the great things that we do. So it's been a great tool for us.
Do you think clubs and leagues fully understand the commercial potential of this category yet?
We've worked with other companies who do manufactured memorabilia. There's a brilliant company called F1 Authentics who take Formula One cars and have
Hi, Dan. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Berkeley podcast. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and I'm sure we'll have a very interesting conversation given everything that is happening on the world of collectibles. So, Dan, let's start from the beginning. Give us a little bit of background there. How did you first get into the sports memorabilia and collectibles industry?
it's interesting because I've always been a football fan and a collector. If you see behind me, you'll see my 1986 World Cup sticker album. So it's kind of what I've been doing all my life. So if you go to my Instagram, icons_CEO, it's basically said, as a kid, I collected stickers, and now grown up, I collect footballers. So I've always been fun, but it's not. I didn't start the company. So it was started in 1999 by my former business partner, Edward Freeman, and the idea was to be the network of websites for footballers to talk to their public, which is a fantastic idea. It's just probably about 15 years too early. But it was it launched in 1999, which is only about 4 months after Google. So we've .com bubbled and we've survived and we've carried on and we've ducked and weaved all the way through. And I worked for the parent company as a strategy person. And I had a week spare and they knew that I love football. So they're like, what would you do with this sort of collectibles company in the basement? And I'm like, well, it's fantastic as a name, icons.com. That's brilliant. By that time, we were reporting on the sort of exploits of second division footballers and lesser names. But there was a shop on the back of it called icons.com, which sold the world's best signed football memorabilia from big names. So we had contracts with Pele and people like that. And I was like, well, that's the thing that's unique and sellable. We should do that. That sounds great. So we reorganized the site and the focus of the business. Edward came back to join me, and we basically took it from there and turned it into I would say the world's best signed football memorabilia company.
Oh, amazing. And look, for people maybe less familiar with the business, can you explain a little bit more what icons.com does and, how has the company evolved over time and, how basically you've been able to build so much athlete access and trust in building this platform?
Well, fundamentally, it's working with a footballer and sort of it's a bit like a personal appearance. Dear footballer, we need an hour of your time. We're going to sign 400 things. We'll take care of it. We'll do all the logistics and the buying and the legals and the sorting it out. Then we'll take it away. We pay everybody a fee for what we do. And then we will use those products to create exciting framed, signed shirts, boots, balls, photos, captain's armbands, Lego sets, anything we could think of that people might want to buy. And we sell it to the world through our website. But as we've grown, we've become the main people who do licensed football products. So we've worked with FIFA since 20. So this will be our 5th World Cup. We've been signed memorabilia for 14th year, I think. And now we work with clubs as well. So we work with Manchester United and Barcelona. And previously we worked with people like Liverpool and Manchester City and AC Milan. So we take all the best footballers, we get them to sign products, and then we sell them around the world in various formats to people who love what we do. So that's the basics of the business.
What makes the model defensible and what's the operational infrastructure behind authenticating and censoring? How does it actually work? How do you actually, can say, this is indeed been signed by Messi or whoever.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest thing we worry about. So sort of authenticity is everything. And if we can't prove it and show it, then our products are just a shirt from JD Sports with a bit of pen on it. So we do everything we can to make sure that the public and the consumers and the players understand that this is the most important thing for us. So we've recently taken to the next level of what we do in authenticity by introducing a new level called triple lock, which allows us to NFC our shirts. So we videotape the entire signing. We edit the signing when we get back into every single individual moment a product is signed. That is then available to scan on your phone. When you get the product, you can scan it. You see the moment of authenticity assets that we have, the brand or the location or the photo or the product itself. And then it's all linked back to a database. So there's both a physical and a digital record of everything we do. So that kind of triangulation makes sure that people can be totally reassured that we were in the room. This is how many things we signed. This player did sign it on this date. And that's our way of taking authenticity to the level, basically.
And have fans become more sophisticated, as buyers? Do you think they require more than they used to require?
Yes, totally. In the old days, we used to take a one picture per type of product, and we would have a sort of printout COA and a hologram, but we found too many people could rip that off and photograph it and move it around. So we put a sort of 2-year development into actually relaunching with Leo Messi, our main signee, let's say, relaunching our triple lock to make sure that it's sort of incontrovertible. There's also two levels. It's sort of, you can the left brain and right brain and all the people that we sell to. So you can't just sort of shout facts at people, even though we're a partner and we have the FIFA license and we work with Manchester United, and that's often not enough. You have to be able to tell a story behind what we do. So again, going back to my Instagram, what was interesting was that I was against sort of showing what I do as a human being, because I don't need to publicize it all. But actually someone said it's the most authentic thing you can do. You are on planes, you are meeting footballers, you do go to the World Cup final, you are in shops buying shirts. So if you actually just show that and demonstrate that as you go along, that is just proving your authenticity. You ever doubt it, go and ask. There's no faking that.
It makes a lot of sense. And to be fair, adds an awful lot of credibility to it, I'm sure. I was saying that's absolutely, critical, I think, to giving credibility. So, I'll definitely make sure to keep following what are your next steps on and your next trips on Instagram. Now, on the other hand, also athletes have become a lot more sophisticated, right? I mean, there are basically, I think one of the themes we're seeing more and more is athletes as content creators and also distributors of, some of these products. I was talking, very recently to Michael Payne, for example. He was mentioning, the former chief marketing officer of IOC and also special advisor to Bernie Ecclestone. And one of these predictions is that tomorrow maybe the athletes will want to preserve, even the ability to broadcast what they do rather than going through, the CBS or ESPN of the world. How does that go, in terms of the affiliate that you do? Do younger athletes understand scarcity? How important it is to be direct to fan for yourself? And, are you going to be able to, you're thinking how to approach that from an athlete perspective?
It's a great point. It's sort of, as the footballers themselves become almost bigger brands than the clubs or the tournaments they're playing in, we have to work with them and have a close relationship. So as we've worked with Leo Messi for 20 years, when he showcases on his Instagram that we are his official partner and demonstrates our latest products, it goes to try to work out, I think it's about 1/15 of the entire population of the world. So that's the power of the mega celebrities to be able to get to everyone around the world, and we're so proud to work with him and his team to be able to do that sort of thing. What we've done is we've invested in videographers, photographers, writers, tech people, all the kind of modern ways of telling stories. So back to the left brain, right brain, we can shout facts at people, but that's only so much. Actually, it's the telling of stories that actually is the most compelling. So we film all our signings, we create content around them, we do giveaways and promotions and talk to everybody about how we do what we do and try and also meet with our customers and our fans to showcase the things that they love. So it's been an eye opener. You sort of the more you pull back the veil, the more people want to see. So that's part of our job is
Yeah.
to showcase that how we do it and how professional we are. There's been one great video that we're actually cutting at the moment, which is to take a shirt from our office, take it out of a frame, and then show
Mhm.
it being carried from our office into a taxi, into the plane, through customs, out the other side, onto a bus, and all the way through to the hotel where we do the
Okay.
signing. We put that physical shirt in front of the star, Leo in it,
Yeah.
and you reverse engineer it all the way back to the frame. That is it. This is what we do. We put that shirt with that person
Yeah.
in that frame, and you can now buy that.
And it is also very interesting that the dynamic emerging about sports collectibles, right? I mean, some of them are supposed
Yeah.
to be seen as luxury goods. So, what does that mean? Are you seeing buyers more global, or what's the split of people that are interested in your products these days?
I went to university and did economics. So it's an interesting economic proposition. It's called a Veblen good. If you want to look it up, Veblen. So a Veblen good becomes more signal that it's rare and scarce and that you should be more interested in it. It's why Gucci handbags are $5,000, not 50. And what we say is that our products have a high perceived value because there's very few of them. Other people can't get in the rooms with these players. They can't get things signed. They can't do it with the right licenses and the right legal agreement. And that's what makes them so special. They're real world products that are unrepeatable. And there's a very limited edition of them. And that's why they're special. So unfortunately, when Pele died, I spoke to the people who had the Pele contract and said, right, we'd like to buy a lot of Pele, please. And they were like, oh, that's great. We can swap it for your Messi's. And I'm like, okay, we can do that sort of thing. I explained to them that the ratio in price was 10-1. You'd have to give me 10 Pelés for one Messi. And obviously they'd be like, but Pele's the king. He's amazing. And I'd be like, I think he may have signed 1,000,000 shirts in his life. For the last 30 years, all he did was sign shirts. Leo's
Mhm.
signed like, I don't know, decimal points less than that. And there's just not that
Yeah.
many of them in the world. So that's the ratio. It's called about keeping the value of what you do without over exploiting it. I can't get Leo to do tens of thousands. It's going to always be, I don't know, 1,000. There's never going to be more because he doesn't have time to sign more things.
Interesting. So, what's your view about, how social media is impacting the growth of collectibles? Because, at the moment we're seeing, there's quite some interesting, transaction or attempted transaction in the space, I guess, right? We've seen the eBay, potential transaction recently. I mean, do you think there is a lot of hype going on and is social media hyping that hype, or, you know, what is your view about, the expectations for the industry?
I mean, I always think it's a super exciting sector, whatever. Yes, there may be things this year that people are excited about. They're excited about NFTs about 5 years ago, and then they're
Yes.
excited by, I don't know, digital signatures, then they're excited about hologram. It's like, I love it because I love it. I
Mhm.
collect it. It's exciting. It's a good product, whatever happens, and all I wanna do is showcase what we do and do more of it. What I think is that social media is legitimizing it more. My issue is that our levels of authenticity and our credibility is super high. That's why we do what we do and why we FIFA, Messi, UEFA, the Ballon d'Or, Barcelona. There is a world of stuff below me that is eBay, the Wild West. Not anything wrong with eBay, but eBay websites have loads and loads and loads of dodgy things all over them. And how do you tell the difference? So we use our social media to help tell stories, and prove and defend and show all the great things that we do. So it's been a great tool for us. We were the world's most followed memorabilia company until about 4 months ago when Fanatics overtook us. But they're
Yeah.
worth 31. They're worth 31 billion. They got a bit more behind us, but yeah, certainly in outside of America, we're the most popular memorabilia brand in the world.
And there is so much talk about, how clubs need to monetize the fan base and, whether it's media rights, whether it's streaming, whether it's content platforms. Do you think clubs and leagues fully understand the commercial potential of this category yet?
The category can be enormous. It's an amazing thing. It's like signed shirts are always going to be slightly limited, but scarcity is what makes it good. We've worked with other companies who do sort of manufactured memorabilia. There's a brilliant company called F1 Authentics who take Formula One cars and have relationships with all the Formula One teams. And they cut the cars up to make products out of all the used car parts. And they also take the designs from the Formula One teams and recreate full-size Formula One cars, which don't have engines in, that people buy around the world. So there's a kind of endless things you can create from sort of an insatiable fan base who love authentic and amazing things.
Do you think collectibles, uh, can be seen as alternative asset class? You were just talking about classic cars, so could they be seen as watches, wine, art? Is that what the collectibles kind of?
Yeah, we are a subset of that. I think trading cards are special because they're traded. That's kind of one of the special things. So we've been working very closely with Topps and Panini, Club Legacies and Dakar and all the various card companies because we have access to footballers too, so we can help them. And the kind of frenzy around trading cards is amazing to watch. They feel like assets. We never say that our signed memorabilia is an asset that you should buy and invest in. You pay a price for a product and you enjoy it and that's it. I'm never saying, please buy this shirt, it's going to go up in value. It's not really our thing. What is adjacent to us though are match worn shirts, unique products, one of ones, special editions, even signed trading cards that are created in conjunction with the players. There are more adjacent areas that you can work on that's slightly one step removed from our actual core thing, which is a signed shirt in a frame. So we're entrepreneurial. So we're working with partners who do that and trying to find exciting ways to bring those to the world.
Yeah, I mean, you built one of the largest, collectible scaling businesses, right? So surely scaling is such a premium sports business as that is challenges. So what did you learn as an entrepreneur in building this business? And is there anything you would do differently if you were to start again today?
I think we've built step by step. So there's no short cuts to long termism, where we've been around for 20 odd years and we try our best what we need. We've made some serious mistakes along the way. So I know we backed the wrong something new and it didn't work, but that's capitalism. We keep trying. What is interesting is two examples from the American the World Cup is we knew we had to move into the States. We were losing market share in America because you have to import our products over the Atlantic as a framed item, which is expensive. It can be damaged. There's tariffs. And if you're competing with people inside America, that's really hard because our stuff's just too expensive for the market. So we knew we had to have a footprint in North America, and we chose to work with a partner in Canada. And they were brilliant, and we were going to set everything up, and it was all ready to go. And then suddenly tariffs and Trump arrive, and Canada's not a great place to be. And we had to say, okay, right, we're going to have to go into mainland America. But in a testimony to the United States and their culture, we flew in, and in 72 hours, we had an employee, a limited company, a warehouse, distribution team, a framer, and we were set up and ready to go. So framing and stocking and labeling boots and all kinds of things to go. So it's sort of, you got to go quickly when it really matters. America's a long-term project for us. It's not just the World Cup. It's the home of memorabilia. So we want to do as much as we can there. But it's great. So now you can say to customers, it'll be there in a overnight. It's $10 to get it to Wisconsin, and we're here on your time zone, and you can pay in dollars. So it's just trying to, what are the smart ways to make it work? And it's been a great success so far. And then I was just
And
going to go on to the other thing that we've pivoted to super legitimate people in the collectibles area, and they are putting a lot of effort into eBay Lives, so sort of live shopping. And we've
Mhm.
been partnering with them this year in order to do sort of live shopping. And now what we're doing is we're pivoting to both live shopping, but also live signings with players. So we have a whole roster lined up to work with eBay in Germany and America and Australia and the UK, from our World Cup studio, which will be in Manhattan. And we get famous footballers to come in and tell us about their best players and who their icons are and their heroes. So imagine your team is just told, right, you've been working on the internet for all your
Mhm.
working life. Right, now you got to do it in front of a camera, learn how to do a studio, videotape, organize it. And they've been absolutely brilliant. They've taken it to it like a ducks to water. So yeah, we broadcast live from our office every 2 days now.
And look, it's such an exciting time for the industry. I was talking about, the eBay bid. Obviously, you were mentioning how Fanatics has also gone big into the space, and also, recently secured a good contract, one of Panini's, historical contract with FIFA. What do you see the industry heading over the next few years, say 5 to 10 years? Do you think there would be, is it more institutional capital coming in? Do you think there would be greater athlete ownership, more integration, with premium fan experiences, as you were mentioning? What do you think is the future for the industry?
The observation I'm seeing is even more globalization. So we serve 120 countries around the world. People all over the planet are passionate about what we do, and they love soccer and they love football and they love sport. So even though we're opening and focusing on America right now, our second biggest audience is in China. And we have a big following in the Middle East, and we'll sell footballers to everywhere in the world. So there is a big market of people who love this stuff. And every World Cup, even from my childhood, there's a whole new bunch of people who get so excited about it, and they are, I know, they're in love for life. So I remember my first ever human moment is watching a Dutchman score in the 1978 World Cup final. I was 5, and it's burnt into my memory. That's literally the because I can locate it in time and space. It's the thing I can remember.
Mhm.
So I've always been loved World Cups, get excited by them. Now I get to go. It's my wife would say it's like when little Dan was 10, what would he have wanted to grow up to be? And I was like, well, obviously I wanted to be a footballer, but if I couldn't, I want to do this job because I know it's the best.
Amazing. And look, for entrepreneurs that are looking at the sports industry today, what do you think are the most attractive opportunities? Is it in fan engagement? Is it in commerce? Is it in experiences? Is it in data?
It's an interesting question. I think in all of this, I think it's bringing superstars closer to their fans.
Mhm.
The more removed they are,
Yeah.
more they're untouchable and gods. And I think actually what's better is certainly social media brings them together. What we've
Mhm.
noticed, for example, is things like meet and greets, and look at Fanatics Live in New York in the summer. They bring the world's greatest stars in all sports to a festival, and everyone turns up and wants to meet them. So that appetite for stars, icons, and heroes isn't going anywhere. That's only getting more. But just
Good.
look around the world and look around the internet. It's like people obsess about their heroes, and the more stories you can tell, the more access you can give, the more you can collaborate, the better it is, I think.
Hey, Dan, thank you. This has been a fascinating conversation. Before I let you go, I have one final question, which is what's the most iconic icon you ever handled? There
See
you
my
go.
there you
There
go.
you go.
Diego Maradona was the best footballer I've ever signed. Let's say I love Leo, but Diego is pretty cool. So that's a signed shirt dedicated to me, and the other one is the Leo dedicated one to me and my two kids. So I don't really need anything.
Amazing.
They're the best things for me.
Amazing. Hashtag I'm not jealous at all, I guess, Dan. I think that's, what's particularly interesting about this industry, right? I mean, you see that intersection of really emotion, identity, scarcity, commerce.
Yeah,
So it's incredible to see.
it's fascinating to be in it. It's not just a sort of what's the word? It's not just like a hobby. It's an absolute business which we think about 24/7 to try and bring the best products to people. And it isn't easy. If it was easy, then other people would do it. But there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get there.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us and sharing your insights. And thank you for everybody for listening to this episode of the Backyard Podcast. And of course, we'll keep waiting to hearing more from Dan and icons.com and other business we'll develop over the next few years. Thanks for joining us.